Hi, everyone. I'm here now with Ari Gore, Head of Communications at ZenGo Wallet. Welcome, Ari.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So the fires in Los Angeles have been an utterly heartbreaking disaster. And generally, those kinds of things don't seem super related to crypto, but I'm sure people have seen that there have been reports surfacing here and there that in addition to 12,000 homes being lost, there also have been people who have lost their seed phrase that, for instance, was maybe written on a piece of paper. And Ari, you reached out to me with some thoughts about this. You know, when you see these reports, what are your thoughts about how it is that the crypto industry can serve people better to keep their crypto safe?
Yeah, thanks, Laura. So, the fires in LA are devastating. And my heart really goes out to everybody who've been impacted. I know people who lost their homes completely. Everything was destroyed. And I would say the response by the crypto ecosystem has been both heartwarming and frustrating. Heartwarming in that, shout out to the Giving Block. They're helping raise hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars for people impacted. It shows the best of what we can do in crypto. But frustrating because a lot of the responses to people who have lost their hardware wallets were burned, right? Their seed phrases were destroyed. It's been, you need to create a more complicated seed phrase based system. You need to, use safe multi-sig, for example. You need to separate your seed phrase into 3 parts, separate them between different jurisdictions, geographies. Look, some people will do that, but the average person's not doing that. Your aunt, your uncle, brother, sister, our friends are not doing that. And what frustrates me is there are better ways to securely self-custody your assets, right? These technologies already exist, right? MPC wallets, multi-party computation, or AA, account abstraction wallets. And to me, right, we're so focused on building the future. We are at the tip of the spear in technology. Why are we so conservative and dogmatic when it comes to seed phrases being the only way to self-custody? It can't continue.
So why don't we first talk about what tips you would have for everyday people so they can protect their crypto in the case of these types of natural disasters?
Yeah, I think so. First of all, to everyone listening right now, right, you're hopefully in a safe and secure place, and you can take a moment to reflect on your current crypto holdings. How are you currently custodying your assets? Maybe some are on an exchange or two, maybe some are in a seed phrase wallet, hardware, software. How does your system work now? And what are the limits of that system? Think about worst case scenarios that could happen. God forbid, another fire or massive natural disaster, an event of life, right? At some point, someone else is going to have to gain access to your assets when we all move on. So what system do you have set right now? And will you be able to recover it as is, or will your loved one be able to recover it in the future? Just because we're good at self-custody, or at least we'd like to think we are, it doesn't mean that the person who loves us and will get access to them in the future, that they are. So think about the limits of that system. And then I would suggest reconsidering how you self-custody and to diversify that process, right? Consider using an MPC wallet, consider using an account abstraction wallet.
And just explain what those,
go ahead.
Explain what those are.
Sure. So in the last few years, there have been new ways to essentially sign on-chain transactions and take control of your private keys. One of my favorite, of course, is an MPC wallet. It stands for multi-party computation. And what it essentially does is it breaks the private key into more than one spot. Think of it kind of like a multi-sig wallet, where it's more secure by default because there's no single point of failure. There's no singular private key in one location. Think of it like a decentralized private key. And so people can use a multi-sig wallet, like a safe wallet, where you set up 3 different ones, and then, but that tends to be more advanced. Another alternative for that is simply using an MPC wallet. And I do think that we're going to start to see these types of solutions take over time, or at least be included for self-custody. And it's just a matter of time before people learn about them and start to use them.
And so what types of technologies would you prefer to see the industry focus on going forward to, keeping these types of situations in mind?
Yeah, I'd like us as an industry to kind of self-reflect a little bit and ask, why are we being so dogmatic about seed phrases when we can build and are already building other solutions for secure self-custody? One of my kind of favorite and terrifying stats is in the last 10 years, now about $250 billion worth of Bitcoin has been lost or stolen because of seed phrase mismanagement. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And that's by the early adopters. That's by folks who are supposed to be good at self-custody. So if they can't do it well, how can we expect normal people to do it well? When technically our competitors or other people in the space are centralized systems, exchanges, the ETFs, we as an ecosystem need to come up with better and more secure ways to ensure that it's easy to self-custody and it's secure by default. And so to talk more about MPC wallets, about AA wallets, and to start building in those directions.
Well, Ari, thank you so much for explaining what is really important information that people should know, even if, what prompted it was something that, is just really heartbreaking to see.
It's my pleasure. I hope that this never happens to anyone again, and that in the future, when a disaster does happen, we can rely on the crypto that we custody to help us get to the next phase of our lives instead of see it as another source of pain.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for explaining all this on Unchained.
It's my pleasure.